Hello and welcome to my channel Health and Wellness with Emma Mentel. I've been absent for a few days because I was fully immersed in the wedding preparations and the wedding of my son this weekend. But I'm back in Durban and here to have a chat again about your health and your well-being. For March, I thought the theme that I would like to include and focus on is you really tuning in to your well-being. I'm often so surprised to hear when I ask clients how certain things make them feel, certain meals, certain activities, where people are seemingly so unaware of how certain foods would energize them, or the opposite, how certain foods or meals or activities would make them feel quite depleted, quite tired, quite run down. So what I would like to chat about in this video is just ways we can tune in more. It is difficult with such a crazy world to always also acknowledge what we feel and what we think and how we nourish ourselves on these other levels apart from just food and sleep and breathing. I really would like to encourage you to take time to tune in, even when you get really busy. Take time in the morning to tune into your body and to get a sense of, did I have a good sleep? Did I have any dreams? How do I feel when I get out of bed? Do I maybe have to just pause for a moment and take a few deep breaths? Do I need to center myself? We can get so used to a routine of never actually acknowledging if something feels different. So I like to notice, not to always make that the focus, but just to notice, I feel a bit tired today when I wake up. Maybe I need to move and do a few deep breaths. Maybe I need to have a big glass of water with some of my minerals in it. Maybe I just need to sit and just be quiet for a few seconds or minutes before I just start running and just start getting into the day without actually checking in. And when we want to really make health our priority, it's quite important that we notice how our bodies feel, how sometimes we get a racing heart after a cup of coffee, or how we can feel quite sluggish until we drink that glass of water, or how we forget to breathe and then almost have to do a big sigh before the next thing on the to-do list. So I made a note of just a few things about making health your priority, because it is so valuable to us. It is such an asset, and it's so important that we notice. The first thing I think that's important is to have rituals every day. If you know that something feels supportive to you, whether it's a breath, or whether it's walking, or whether it's going outside and just getting some natural sunlight into your eyes, or whether it's a yoga practice, or whether it's a certain kind of music that you play while you get ready in the morning, or perhaps it's just how you center yourself while you're taking a walk or doing some exercise, and just taking those full breaths into the body and noticing how that perhaps may energize you. So those daily rituals will be important tools to include often and regularly, and as a matter of taking care of the foundation. The second point, and it's something that people don't always know how to relate to, is, does something feel like a yes? Sometimes we get asked a question, or sometimes we get an invitation Sometimes something is put in front of us. It might be a cup of coffee, it might be a meal, it might be an invitation to something. And there is maybe some kind of a hesitation or a resistance. It doesn't feel like a big yes, a big loud yes in my heart. And then I try to just pause and think, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to eat this? Do I really want to go ahead with this invitation? Not to question it, but just to feel for that yes. And that's how we can also really learn to tune into our intuition, how we can intuitively start to listen to a big yes or a big no and start to honor your body like that. So ask yourself, does this feel like a big loud yes, or is there a hesitation? Does it make you shine? That's my third point. Does something make you feel like it really uplifts me? It really makes me feel like I'm glowing. It really adds to my vitality. Does it make me feel brighter? Does it make me feel lighter? And if it doesn't, it might be time to consider that again and to start to just put that aside as perhaps a habit or an activity or a choice that doesn't quite qualify as self-love. If we're constantly trying to please others or just say yes for the sake of, whether it's a meal or an activity, it's not always a loving choice for ourselves. The fourth point, and it very much links into what I've just mentioned, is does it speak of self-love? And I've mentioned a few times to clients and to people on my courses that 2024, from what I can make a sense or feel into and hear about astrology and energy wise, is very much about falling in love with yourself. And that's not an egotistical act. It is about making the choices that are deeply honoring your own needs, deeply honoring your well-being, deeply honoring that which really contributes to your vitality and your life force. So the choices that we make, whether it's a good night's sleep, going to bed early, whether it's maybe to say no to an invitation and rather to go and take a walk somewhere in nature, maybe rather going to the exercise class or the yoga class instead of joining other people for something social. Perhaps it's a meditation that you feel like doing. And also when it comes to meals and food choices, if fast food and highly processed food, ultra processed food, or the stuff that a lot of people drink, you know, full of sugar, full of artificial colorants and flavorants, food that has got no life force, if we're eating things and drinking things that don't speak of self-love, then it might be time to give those up. And then in the same theme, is this kind to you? Is this act or this choice or this meal or this habit, is it a kind habit to you and where you might be at? If you're feeling tired and depleted, the kindest thing that you can perhaps do is to choose to go to bed early or drink a big glass of water, or perhaps even fast for the day. Maybe your body needs that reset just to recalibrate and just to get back to where you're feeling well and full of vitality. Can you pause? Can you sometimes just stop and notice, take a big breath, maybe sit with a journal and just take a few moments to check in with how your heart is feeling, where your thoughts are at, how your body is feeling in general. And that can help to inform the choices that we make on a more regular basis. And then there's also what holds you when you're feeling rattled. Is there something that you can do, somewhere you can go, or someone you can phone that will help you just to feel held and supported, especially when you've had a very busy week, a lot going on. Life is so busy, and sometimes there's just so much going on that our bodies are trying to get our attention, and there's just never time. Or people find it really hard to prioritize that time, or prioritizing their own well-being enough to say, I really need to just be held in silence, or somebody who can just hold space for me for a few moments while I just process, or while I just come back to center where I feel safe and where I know I'm acting out of a choice of well-being for myself. And then the last point in this theme of self-love and tuning into your body is, are you being true to you? Can you really say that your choices and your habits and the people that you surround yourself with and the routines and the rituals that fill your day are being true to who you are, where you're always acting from a place of a very intuitive yes? So it's a lot to consider, and I really hope that this will be helpful for you just to look at well-being in a slightly different way, maybe just with a new lens, perhaps just reframing what wellness can also look like, how choosing your well-being as your biggest priority can look like. And with that, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and also thank you for your comments. I would love to know what you think, and if this resonated for you. Choose you. Deeply choose that which nourishes you on every level. I hope this was helpful to you.